Yep.
Right, it might say
Greenwich,
there's-
Greenwich Mean Time.
Call the meeting in order, please. Take the roll.
Mayor Zakowski. Alderman Kittle.
Here.
Alderman Vrees.
Here.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Here.
Alderman Gartner.
Here.
Alderman Volkert.
Here.
Alderman Montello.
Here. Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with
Motion to adopt the agenda.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so move. There are no public comments tonight. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda? I just want to mention that we have two donations. One is from Jane Larson for $1,500, and the other one from Stephen Takach for $500 for the Canine Fund.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So move.
Yeah, Matt.
The chief is wondering if you,
I said Jane Larson. Oh, you did? Yeah, that was the first one I said. Okay, next one is public hearing. I declare the public hearing open. I think Noah wants to give some background.
Sure. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Included in the agenda packet today is some background content. As the council is aware, this is our fourth time discussing the possible change in form of government. Over the last couple of months, we've talked about both our existing mayor-council form of government, as well as an alternative, which would be a council-manager form. And I'm not going to go through the entire memo. You can read that at your convenience. We also have the hyperlink to the video that was created earlier this summer as well. I'm just kind of walking folks through some of the pros and cons of the two forms. I'm going to jump ahead to the slides if you want to pull those up. Just wanted to highlight first some of the feedback that I've heard from the council so far to date. One of the drivers behind discussing the potential change in the form of government was looking at the mayor having the statutory authority over police and fire departments, and the concerns that in the future that could have a negative impact if a future mayor was overly involved in trying to influence day-to-day operations of those two departments respectively, which could potentially have a negative impact on public safety. Some of you also expressed the importance for residents to be able to continue to elect a mayor, that the mayor is a very visible leader in the community, that we've had that position for decades and that should continue. Another piece was that currently the mayor does not vote, and there was seemed to be a consensus that rather than having 6 voting members, it'd be better to have 7. Currently, the mayor only votes if there's a tie. The mayor also has veto authority, and under a change in form of government, all 7 members would be able to vote. And then there was also desire to continue to have a local government professional. We've had a city administrator for about 40 years in Richmond. And there was continued support expressed for that. So if you look at the next slide, one of the questions that in recent weeks that I've been contemplating is, is there a way that we can address some of these major concerns and reach a consensus? And this was also a question that some of you also asked me, is there a way we could potentially do both? Could we kind of combine the two, so to speak? And so tonight, I wanted to walk through a draft ordinance for your consideration that would potentially address all 4. Which would be changing the form of government, but also allowing the voters to continue to elect the position of mayor. And I'll walk through kind of the high-level points of what this would look like in practice. You can go to the next one. And so for the police and fire departments, if this charter ordinance was adopted, they would no longer be under the statutory authority of the mayor. They would be just like any other department in the city. Now, there's still the Police and Fire Commission that oversees hiring, firing, promotions, demotions for those two departments. But otherwise, from a day-to-day standpoint, it would function like our other city departments. The position of mayor will continue to be an elected position at large, so the mayor can reside anywhere in the city of Richmond. Currently, what is drafted is that it would maintain the 2-year term as it is currently. The mayor would preside over meetings. They can sign resolutions and ordinances that are approved by the Common Council. Under this form, they would also now be able to vote on all matters. So not just if there's a tie, but every item that comes before the group. And they would also continue to have kind of that ceremonial role and really that visibility in the community. So the mayor historically has been very active when it comes to attending groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, the parades, a lot of those community events, and having a face of the city out and being visible. In terms of citizen appointments, currently appointments are made by the mayor. They're subject to city council confirmation. So that would also continue. And then note that if there's been a vacancy for over 90 days, the council could appoint a citizen with a 2/3 majority vote. So currently our ordinance is actually 60 days. This actually gives a longer period of time. But now going forward, the mayor would also be able to vote on that item. So all 7 members would be voting. The council president would continue to fill in the absence of the mayor, just as that position does today. So the council president is elected in April of each year by the council. They fill in if the mayor is gone. In terms of the Police and Fire Commission, there would be no change. In terms of our local ethics board, there's no change. And then for the city administrator, that position continues to lead the day-to-day operations of the city. They also continue to oversee personnel decisions, with the exception of police and fire, as I mentioned earlier, as well as the library director. So by state statute, the library director is hired by the library board. In terms of what this would mean for voters, voters would continue to elect a mayor. They continue to elect 6 alderpersons. The mayor can continue to reside anywhere in the city. Alderpersons have to reside in their respective aldermanic district, so there's no change there. Individuals interested in running for mayor or city council would be able to continue to take out nomination papers later this year, just as they would otherwise. And then the appointed local government professional, the city administrator, continues to be accountable to the council. In terms of what this means for specific individuals who hold those positions, really this is consistency. And so in this case, Mayor Zakowski continues to serve out his term through April. If he chooses to run again for mayor, he can choose to do that. The council president currently is Alderman Vries. He continues to serve as council president through April when we have our sign die meeting, and then the council would determine the next council president. And for myself, I would continue to lead our day-to-day operations for the city. In terms of possible next steps, if the council was supportive of this proposal, you could vote this evening to approve the charter ordinance. This would still be pending final legal review, and you'd also have to include a motion to, as part of that motion, to suspend the rules. The city clerk would notice the ordinance in the newspaper and send this to the Department of Administration. So this is a charter ordinance. So we do a Class 1 notice, and there's a 60-day period. And then that 60-day waiting period would conclude November 17th of 2025. So included in your packet is this entire slide deck, the draft of the charter ordinance, and then, like I said, there's a background memo as well that kind of is a summary of some of your previous work sessions and meetings on this topic. So that's what I have for the presentation, and I'll turn back over to Mayor Zakowski, and if there's anyone from the public who wants to speak on the topic.
And the council want to speak first.
Well, I guess I'll just offer that I appreciate the work that was done by Noah, and actually I appreciate the input of Alderman Kittle, who had wondered at some time not too terribly long ago if there was a point between complete change of government, as we have been discussing, and having it be the way that it is. And I think this touches all the important points on both sides of the discussion. So I appreciate it. And I think this is something that works really well. And if I understand correctly, a month ago, it wasn't your understanding that this could even be done.
Right, so this was speaking in recent days of some cities in Wisconsin that have gone this route, where they They really saw the benefit of trying to separate the day-to-day operations from more of the role of governance. But they still really wanted and heard from their community members that they wanted to continue to elect a mayor. And so I spoke with 2 cities last week that have done this and asked them, has this been going well? Is there anything kind of words of advice? And they said that this has been a really good fit for them. And, ultimately it's up to each community as to what's the best fit for them. But I think this is, again, kind of a compromise. I would maybe kind of combine some of the feedback from all of you.
The only other thing I want to offer is anybody that speaks tonight, somebody expressed to me, because they're pretty faithful about watching meetings, just to be sure to speak into the microphone.
If you have anything to say, you have to come up to the microphone, state your name and address. Anybody from the audience wants to speak?
Up to your
Yeah, you-
microphone there.
You're the one nobody can hear.
Yeah, John. John, you want to come up here, please?
My name is John Walsh. Bear with my speaking, I have a little problem. So I'm just, what'd you say? John Walsh, 1410 Falcon Place. Okay. I just want to make sure that each individual council member has themselves well enough informed to make a decision on this. It just appears to me from the little bit I've learned about this and some more from Noah tonight that maybe it should be looked at that the type of city government we're running here now is the same type of government that was done 100 years ago. So maybe it's time to be a little more progressive and consider something different. Once again, as long as you feel that you're individually well enough informed to make a vote on this, because it's like the council vote things that some people are kind of amazed at that 6 people make some of these big decisions. So I just encourage you to be informed and encourage you to look progressive. And it's quite likely that some other cities have done this. And we have, I think 100 years ago, maybe we had 2,000 people. Now I think we have around 11,000. So it might be time to look at it a different way. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to say anything?
Wendy Smallage, 315 Grayton Road. I was just curious, Craig, if you had an opinion.
Thanks for putting me on the spot. Yeah, I've been the chief now, it'll be 10 years in April. I've operated in my career under a number of different mayors. And basically, what we're doing is kind of catching up with what we've been doing. Our mayors, Mayor Jim, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but you've probably been the most hands-on mayor that we've had within the police department. And even you defer most of your authority to Noah. And I think what works in this is the consistency. Mayors come and go, city administrators tend to stay for a long time. And for me, having that consistency of the day-to-day operations and having one person to answer to that I know is there Monday through Friday and available on the weekends and stuff like that. Not that Jim hasn't been available, but we're talking the future here. And I think that's probably what resonates the most with me is just that consistency of knowing who my boss is and that there's that consistency, there's that we work together a lot on whether it's a press release. We've had a number of homicides in town over the last few years and stuff like that. So just having that connection with the city administrator from that point. And then some of the things that I'm hearing across the state are there's people that are running for governmental offices because there's the statutory head of the police department to drive out law enforcement, to do that change. Not that that's happened here, but we can all probably think of somebody that we wouldn't want running the fire department or the police department. And if they were to run unopposed or something like that and get in, I think this just protects our law enforcement and our fire department, which I think promotes public safety and having that consistency. Not that I don't want to be held accountable or have somebody overseeing me. That's actually what we're looking for, is a little more oversight and consistency. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah.
And I'll say right now that when this was first proposed, I was upset about it. Not that, I'm not sure if I'm going to run again or not, but I just thought we've had a mayor since 1902 here, and we're going to change the system completely. There's only 10 cities in Wisconsin that have a city manager out of about 160 or whatever it is, something like that. And then some people said that, well, that's the way other states do it. Wisconsin, we're doing it our way. We don't have to do everything the way the rest of the country does. We can be unique in Wisconsin. It's worked in Wisconsin. But Noah, I sat down with Noah for about an hour this afternoon, talked about it. And I don't really have a problem with it now. The main thing was this all came about because people had a fear of one person, maybe the wrong person would become mayor. But we can't always be afraid of one person. We have to look at the community. If we're afraid of one person, we're doing something wrong. And talking to Noah today, I think he did a lot of research in this, and I did. I think this is a good alternative. There's one thing I like seeing change in this. Mayor will be a voting member, and all the other council people have 3-year terms. I think the mayor should have a 3-year term also. It's part of the council now, because when you look at it, when we went from a 4th-class city to a 3rd-class city, the city council members had to get 20 signatures to get on the ballot. The mayor went to 200. Well, I was shocked when I first ran for mayor because our new census was 10,006 people. So if it had been 9,999, I would have had to get 50 signatures, I think. But now to be a voting member, I feel that it should be a 3-year term. We changed the alderman used to be 2 years, we changed that to 3 years. And I see the good reason is that because then there's only 2 up every year, you get a little better consistency. But I think the mayor's office should be 3 years too. That's the one thing I'd like to see changed on here. I can accept what Noah's proposed because I think he did his homework. Find out how it worked. He even told me one city went to the city manager, got rid of their mayor, but then they decided after they got the city manager, they want the city manager, but they wanted the mayor position back again, because when somebody looks at your community, they're looking at the mayor as the figurehead of your community. They want to know who your mayor is, and I think that's important. I think that city saw it. That I can't remember, was Oshkosh or Ashwaubenon, one or the other. But they got the mayor position back because they wanted that person there to connect with the citizens in the community. And the mayor still does have to go community-wide for the vote where the council people. So that's the only change I'd like to see, is that the mayor position would be a 3-year term like everybody else on the council, and that wouldn't be again until next April. I'd request that one change, and
I agree with this compromise that we've come a long ways to get to. It allows everybody to have the kind of feedback I will disagree on the 3-year term for mayor. The reason I was in favor of changing the alderman positions to be a 3-year term and change every three years was that with the mayor changing every 2 years as well as the alderman, it was always the same alderman that was running for mayor at the same time. So if we have an odd number for the mayor, it rotates so different aldermen can run for the position without.
you don't have the problem.
I would be more in favor of 4 years than I am.
But
of
I'd
3
rather
years.
see 3 years, because then sometimes there is a need for change. But I think
Jim?
before that,
Jim?
well, if somebody wants to run for both, well, make up your mind.
Let's just do the public hearing first, and then we can come,
Part of it.
well, let's,
Close it.
yeah, close it is what I'm trying to
Oh,
say.
we're still discussing though.
Well, we can
because
go into
we're-
discussion after the public hearing is closed. That's what I'm saying.
No, we have discussion during the public hearing.
No, they have their discussion now. We go out of public hearing, and then we have our
Oh,
discussion.
but you can have discussion here.
You can, yeah.
That's what I'm asking, just look at that more seriously, because I don't think it's right if you're going to be a voting member and everybody else is 3-year terms and the mayor is. Anybody else wish to speak? Anyone else wish to speak? Anyone else wish to speak? I declare the public hearing closed.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to offer a motion that we approve Charter Ordinance number 628.
Second?
Discussion.
Mayor, I just wanted to add too, you would also want to suspend the rules. as part of
Yes.
The
that.
rules, yeah.
And I will suspend the rules on my second.
On my
Just
discussion.
one question, Mr. Mayor. I think the ordinance be subject to final legal.
That goes to the state? Or to our legal review, or,
So it would be reviewed by our city attorney.
yep,
And then we send it to the Department of Administration, just like we did a couple of years ago when the terms changed from 2 to 3.
oh, okay,
And then we notice it in the paper as well.
okay.
No discussion on whether it be aim for a 2-year term, a 3 or 4-year term for the mayor.
Well, as I've expressed my opinion, I would rather see 2 or 4. I would like to be opposite of what the alderman election. I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other.
Mayor, we have a motion on the floor. I'm going to call for the question.
Just asking how
I'm going to call for the question.
I can make that decision. So how do we handle this part of the discussion?
So there's a motion on the floor which has been seconded. If someone wants to propose an amendment, we would have a vote on that amendment. But the way that the ordinance is drafted right now is as a 2-year term.
So you have
So
to
if someone
amend it
wants
right
it to
now.
be a 3-year or 4-year, they could propose an amendment.
I think that's something we could work on in the future. This is a great
Now,
this is a great compromise. I think it's, I want to thank Noah and his staff that we've found this compromise. I think it's a great compromise. I think it helps for the city and the perception of the mayor and the perception that somebody that might not be great at being in charge of the police and fire won't be. And I think that's, I'm not saying that is and currently is, but I'm sure in the past, and I'm sure there could be people in the future that may take advantage of that and may take advantage of the power that they have. And I think this is a great compromise, so.
don't have it with this part, it wouldn't go.
We can change that anytime, Jim. Well, of course we can.
Can you do that, change it any time, or does you have to have it done before?
Can I get a point of order? If we have a call for the question, is that debatable?
Mayor can decide that.
The mayor can decide whether we call the question?
There's no debate. It should move forward. If the council is unwilling to move forward, motion, but it's.
Take the roll.
Alderman Kittle,
So if I vote yes, this is the compromise of these,
yes, so the motion is to approve ordinance 628 pending final legal review and suspend the rules.
which is the administrator would be in charge of the police and fire, and the mayor would stay the mayor, and we would have a mayor position.
We
I
would keep
vote-
the, yes.
I vote yes.
Alderman Vries,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Passes. New business, final plat application, Cattail Villas.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. This evening before you, we have a final plat application from St. Croix Homes to develop a 2.3 acre parcel to be known as Cattail Villas, which is a 55-plus community. The proposed development is located at the northwest corner of the intersection of Ponderosa Lane and West Richmond Way, and the proposed development consists of 10 twin home lots, which will be accessed by a private drive onto Ponderosa Lane. The process that we went through, and as you know, when you look at preliminary plats, in a preliminary plat situation, it goes to public hearing at the Plan Commission, recommendation to City Council, and then for final plats, it goes to city staff and directly to City Council for approval. When we look at a final plat, we look at it from kind of the top down, so we start with the comprehensive plan and the future land use, which this area is designated as mixed use, and the proposed twin homes are consistent with the future land use map. When looking at zoning, if you remember at the last regular city council meeting, we repealed the Evergreen Valley PUD, which was kind of located over this parcel. We took that out so that we could go with the underlying zoning of Z2 suburban district, which is for low density residential neighborhoods. The proposed twin homes are allowed uses subject to a building permit in this zoning district. There's a very small portion of this lot on the northeast side that's in the Wellhead Protection District. We always take a look at that, make sure that we're in compliance with that. And twin homes are allowed in a Wellhead Protection Overlay District as they don't pose any serious threat to the city's water supply. When we're looking at surrounding uses, if you look to the north, we have a city stormwater pond. To the east, we have undeveloped land. To the south, we have West Richmond Way and then further undeveloped land. And then when we look to the west, we have County Road A and undeveloped land, which is considered Gloverdale. When we look at lot occupation, the plat shows that they do have twin homes and they do have the width of 40 feet, which is currently our ordinance standard for twin homes. We also look at setbacks, building design, when they come in for their building permit. So we'll make sure that their lot occupation is correct with the green space, their setbacks, and their building design. When we're looking at streets and access, the proposed development will be accessed via that private drive, and it comes onto Ponderosa Lane. No access will be allowed directly onto West Richmond Way. The private drive has widths that range from 24 feet to 26 feet wide with an 18-inch mountable curb. We also look at things on a staff level as street lighting, street signage, pedestrian walkways, and those things. We have a couple of comments in the end section about those, but those are all meeting our ordinances. When you look at parkland dedication, it's a smaller portion. There will be no proposed parkland dedicated on this plat, but the developer will pay park impact fees at time of building permit. We did have our consultant look at stormwater and erosion control, and those have been approved. We also had staff look at utilities, electric, and easements. Those have been approved. Landscaping plan is consistent with city requirements, and for any public improvements will require a development agreement. The recommendation from city staff is to approve the final plat for Cattail Villas 55-plus development with the 9 conditions listed in the recommendation in your packet.
Christy, is it possible for you to put the screen up there that just shows kind of come out, you know, a higher elevation, so it's easy for folks to see where this property is?
Right here you can see it, if she zooms in on that.
Next one up.
I thought there was another,
There's one on top of that one.
The comp
go
plan
back
shows
one more
it.
page.
That
There
one.
it is.
Right here.
So, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to offer a motion that we approve this final plat application for St. Croix Homes with the 9 conditions that are outlined in the memo.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, this is probably makes no sense at all, but is it really off of Ponderosa Lane? Or will that driveway come off of Tamarack Place?
It comes off of Ponderosa. Yeah, yeah.
Old Richmond Way? This is the northwest corner, so it's north of Richmond Way. I think that road is Tamarack. Maybe that makes no difference. I'm looking at a map.
I think it's the next one over. I'm pretty confident it's Ponderosa.
Sequoia, the next one over?
Yeah, Sequoia and then Tamarack.
There's only two roads there, so the question is, are they Ponderosa and
See,
Sequoia?
Tamarack comes down to Richmond Way, and then south of Richmond Way is Ponderosa.
On their site plan, it also shows that that's Ponderosa. I think it is. The engineering is here.
According to Google Maps, I'm just saying.
Oh, you saw both? It showed Ponderosa on the plan.
Questions? Now take the roll, please.
Alderman Vries,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle.
Yes.
A motion passes. 2025 second quarter tourism funding recommendations.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. On August 27th, the Tourism Committee met. They reviewed 3 funding applications. One from Northwood Technical College for their Community Connections event, and they requested $4,223. Another from New Richmond Area Chamber of Commerce for Park Art Fair, and they requested $8313. And then one from city staff requesting $2,000 for marketing expansion of Visit New Richmond with signage in the parks and other areas. A total funding is recommended by the Tourism Committee of $14,536.73 out of the available $42,828. So that leaves little more than 28,000 carry forward. Both myself and Alderman Vries were at the meeting if you have any questions about the applications.
Your motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion now?
So if we wanted to talk about the website and how that's going, and do we have data from them? When will we find out about how that's working?
Yeah, it's been going super well. So we have quarterly
Is this
reports.
the time to talk about this, or is this just?
No, you're okay to ask it. You get quarterly reports, and we bring those typically to the council work session. We just received, actually this morning, last quarter's report. So we can forward that by email for you to review as well. The website visits are amazing, and New Richmond is no longer the top viewer of our website, which is a huge benchmark. So when we were first put out Visit New Richmond, the highest traffic was coming from residents of New Richmond because we were sharing it with people. But now the Twin Cities market is the highest viewer of our Visit New Richmond website, followed by Chicago. And New Richmond area is actually 3rd in the visits to the website. So that's,
We're behind Chicago?
New Richmond is behind Chicago.
You know
Something's
anybody? Do you know anybody from Chicago?
I don't.
No, I would like to know anybody that wants to go to Chicago. That's my point.
Michelle's family lives in
There you go.
You can all say hi to my mom. She might be watching this right now. Just saying.
Out of curious, are we gonna drape a Visit New Richmond sign over the Mary Park sign that I don't think is there yet?
Is that an option?
No.
Once we get it up,
No.
I'm not sure when that's gonna happen.
No, we will
Not
share
an
the
option.
quarterly reports. We just like to look through them and then we'll forward them on. But it's going well.
Other questions? Roll, please.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle,
Yes.
Alderman Vries.
Yes.
Passes. Next item, bid results, contracted underground construction.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In August, we issued competitive bids for the installation of underground conduit and fiber to service 3 wells plus the wastewater treatment plant. This was a project that is included in the 2025 CIP. The bids were reviewed by the Utility Commission last week with the recommendation to award to the low bid TD&I in the amount of $46,902. I just want to highlight as well, that's the cost for the contracted work. There's also a scope of work that will be conducted in-house. So ancillary expenses for that includes about $7,100 expense that we would incur for the hardware and the conduit cost that we are supplying. So this project was $50,000 budgeted, so it's slightly over budget, but still is an important project from the Utility Commission perspective and made the recommendation to move forward the bid before you tonight.
I move to approve the bid from TDI of $46,902.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I do have a question. I see that these bids had to be received by August 14th, and they were going to be reviewed by the Utility Commission on September 3rd. Today's the 8th. I'm just curious about the timing.
That they're in regards to the
Well, this
proposal?
is, in the beginning, it says will be reviewed by the Utilities Commission at their September 3rd meeting.
And they were. We brought this forward to the
Okay, so
Utility Commission last week.
this is worded like it hadn't happened yet.
Yeah, because it's the same memo that we used for the Utility Commission for the council. So the Utility Commission reviewed these last week. They're making the recommendation to move forward with the TD&I as
And
a little bid.
Maybe the last question, but you said it was over budget.
So our estimated budget as part of the CIP was $50,000. Again, those budgets are estimated usually. So we're probably a little bit high end on what we're estimating for the ancillary hardware equipment. So it's slightly over budget, but not
Is that
have the
number,
funds necessary.
is that number's in there? The ancillary, I see the
Yeah,
46.
think the
so
nine.
6,000.
Is the 6,000 is separate? That's our costs?
Correct, that's
So that
our
would put
costs
it-
internal.
That'd put it a little lower.
Thanks.
I'm just wondering if these bids are apples to apples. I mean, we made sure of that.
They are
Because
apples
one
to
seems to be next level. I mean, as far as.
Real good apples.
Yeah, it's a very big
Difference.
I didn't mean
It's
it that way.
apples.
Curious where
You know,
somebody
to the-
comes up with 153 and 46. So they're doing the same job is all I kind of want to know.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Profit in one, maybe.
Anything else?
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello,
Yes.
Alderman Kittle,
Yes.
Alderman Vries,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Passes. Next item, automated field striper.
This item was discussed at the Public Works Committee meeting recently. Staff are seeking authorization to enter into a 2-year lease agreement for an automated field striper. This would be used for painting and striping for athletic fields, but it could also be used actually for pavement marking. In terms of pavement marking, we wouldn't necessarily be using this for parking stalls per se on Knowles Avenue, but if we were doing one of our public parking lots where you could block the entrances off. Really the intention of this is to try to reduce the staff time involved of just manually striping, especially in the summertime when we have soccer tournaments, baseball, there's a lot of staff time that goes into that. And so this device can be programmed with a GPS device and controlled with a tablet. And so staff can be doing another task out there while the automated field striper does its thing. And so this would have a 2-year lease agreement, and then after that second year, we would also have the option to purchase the equipment with a reduction based on, as you can see outlined in the memo. So our lease is $16,000 per year. That also includes 280 gallons of paint. After 2 years, if we wanted to purchase the machine, we'd receive $11,500 per year. So a total purchase price of $38,000. We're not obligated to do that. So after the 2-year lease, if we decide it's not a good fit or we don't want to own it, we don't have to pursue that. But the recommendation from staff and from the Public Works Committee was to proceed with the 2-year lease agreement.
Have we practiced with that already, or you seen it?
Yep. Staff have done a demo with it, and we're really impressed with it. And this was the only one that they could also find that had the ability to do both athletic fields and pavement markings. So they thought there was some benefit there. I know I've even spoken with our airport manager about could we potentially use this to help with striping out at the airport. So I think there's a lot of other uses. I think once we get our hands on it and get some more experience using it, that we may be able to use in the future.
So other than, I know the painting would be different than the lime of the infield and all that kind of stuff, batters, boxes. Do you have any kind of estimate of what man hours we use now? I mean, in the brochure, it says 90% savings. Well, we've all seen brochures that claim, a lot of different things. Do we have any estimate on how long it takes to stripe a field and how long it takes to chalk a field and I mean, I'm sure we hire out all the painting of the parking lots and all that kind of stuff. And at the airport, I'm sure we don't do that by ourselves. But do we have any kind of estimate on what we'd be saving?
So in terms of the parking lots, a lot of those we do ourselves.
Oh,
So,
we do?
like,
Okay.
The Civic Center parking lot was redone a few years ago, so that was striped by a contractor.
Because the whole thing was done.
But when we do our downtown parking lots, for example,
That ourselves.
typically that's been by
So we
city
have an
staff.
idea of how many man-hours we're using now to do all this striping and all that
Yeah,
kind of
so in
stuff.
recent years, we've started tracking more specific hours being spent at different parks and different projects.
Different
And
functions.
so, when you think about up at Freedom Park, to think that you could be working on Field 2, well, this is already striping Field 1 behind you, It's not designed that you could just let it run up at the park without anyone around. But the idea that you can kind of be multitasking, the staff that are up there could be doing something else, or if you're at Citizens Field, right, you could be working on cleaning the bathroom or working on the pitcher's mound while
Right.
this is doing some of the other tasks.
Yeah, I get that, but we don't have a kind of estimate on how literally this could save us a lot of money. I'm all for spending money that saves us money in the long run, and I think this probably does. But if we don't have a real estimate of how long things take, then
Yeah, so it obviously it depends a little bit in terms of what type of tournament, or obviously how often we're mowing and that sort of thing. But I'd say easily up to 10 hours a week in the summertime that we spend striping fields. So and obviously it depends on, right, did it rain?
Yeah.
Do you have to restripe it? Was the soccer tournament last weekend, right, they needed 8 fields for 10-year-old soccer, and now they need it redone. So obviously there's always some give and take.
Yeah, I
there,
get
but-
that.
But yeah, I'd say 5 to 10 hours a week in the summertime.
The paint, 280 gallons of paint. What do we pay for a gallon of paint? I mean, that seems like a real buy to me with what the paint that you buy for those machines. Expensive. Do you have any idea what a gallon of paint costs us now?
Not off the top of my head, I don't know.
That's just crazy.
But yeah, I mean, the
On this
amount of,
particular one, I can kind of interject on that one. So, the credit that they're giving us, essentially that's taking into account, the consumables that they're, as part of the lease. So the reduction of what they're giving us, we're paying $16,000 a year. They're giving us credit for $11,500. A good portion of that is the paint that's consumed, that they're estimating of that 280
Paint
gallons.
is a big part of it then, yeah.
Not take the roll, please.
Do I have a motion and a second on that one yet?
I don't think we have a motion yet.
I don't have a motion or a second yet.
I'd make the motion to do the automated field striper.
Now take the roll, please.
Will do. Alderman Volkert.
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle.
Yes.
Alderman Freeze.
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Motion passes. Any communication or miscellaneous?
As some of you may or may not know, the VFW's done a 9/11 tribute every year. It's kind of moved around. It used to be out on the bridge on Knowles. Last year it was in front of the fire department. They do a flag raising. They approached the police department this year, so it'll be held on September 11th at 8:55 in the morning in front of the police department. The veterans will be down there raising the flag and doing a brief ceremony if anybody would like to attend. That's open to the public and, of course, all of you.
That's it.
I did ask
That
a
was my
question
same one.
earlier. Do we know what the timing is of the Mary Park metal sign? I mean, I haven't driven down there. Somebody asked me last week. I'm assuming it's not up.
It's not up yet. I know, speaking of our staff last week, that they've been working with the contractor and still hoping to get it up yet this fall.
Anything else? Hear motion to go in closed session per state statute 19.851E, deliberating.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle.
Yes.
Alderman Freeze.
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Alderman Volkert.
Yes.
We're in closed session.